You open your phone the second your eyes open. Haha, hee. Before your feet even touch the floor, you've already answered a message, seen 12 other people's morning, and felt slightly behind on a day that hasn't started. And somewhere deep inside, a small worker in your body sighs and reaches for a big red button. Again. Welcome to burnout. Not the tired kind that a weekend fixes, the kind that soaks into your bones and quietly rewires how your whole body works. Now, here's the strange part. Burnout isn't laziness, and it isn't weakness. The term was coined in 1974 by a psychologist named Herbert Freudenberger, who noticed something disturbing. The people collapsing first weren't the slackers, they were the passionate ones, the committed ones, the ones who cared too much to ever switch off. Burnout doesn't hunt the weak, it hunts the reliable. So what is actually happening in there? Meet the tiny, panicked characters living just above your kidneys, your adrenal glands. Their entire job in life is to slam a big red button labeled stress, and when they do, out pours a chemical called cortisol. Cortisol is emergency fuel. It sharpens your focus, speeds your heart, and turns you into a slightly sweatier action hero ready to run. For 90 seconds, it's brilliant. That's exactly what it was built for. The problem is that your body was designed to run from a lion, not from a Tuesday. Ha ha, ha ha. It expected the danger to end. It did not expect an inbox that regenerates faster than you can empty it. This is where Stanford neuroscientist Robert Sapolsky comes in. In his book, Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers, he points out something almost funny. A zebra sprints from a predator, survives, and then goes right back to calmly eating grass. Its stress switches off. Yours never does. You're a zebra running from a lion that went home hours ago, wondering why your body is falling apart. Have you ever felt exhausted and wired at the exact same time? That's chronic cortisol. And over months, it grinds you down. Your immune soldiers stop answering their orders, so you catch every cold in the room. Your gut goes on strike because your body decides digestion isn't a priority during an emergency. And deep in your skull, a seahorse-shaped memory librarian called the hippocampus gets buried under stress signals, which is why you walk into a room and instantly forget why you're there. That's not early aging. That's your brain rationing power. But here's the real question. Why is this happening to so many of us, right now, all at once? Because your ancient stress system was just handed the most overstimulating world in human history, and nobody gave it a manual. Start with the obvious culprit sitting in your hand. Your phone was engineered to be difficult to put down. Every notification, every red dot, every pull to refresh delivers a tiny hit of dopamine, your brain's reward chemical. Stanford psychiatrist Anna Lembke, author of Dopamine Nation, describes the modern smartphone as the equivalent of a digital drug you carry everywhere. You're not weak for checking it 200 times a day. You're using a device specifically designed to make you check it 200 times a day. Then there's the myth of multitasking. You think you're juggling. You're not. Research by Gloria, a professor at the University of California, Irvine, found that once you're interrupted, it can take around 23 minutes to fully refocus. Now count how many times an hour you get pinged. You spend your whole day in a state of constant partial attention, never fully present, never fully resting. Your brain is a browser with 90 tabs open, and you wonder why it's overheating. And it doesn't stop when work stops, does it? Once, work lived in an office you could physically leave. Now it lives in your pocket, on your couch, in your bed. The boundary between on and off quietly dissolved. Your body never gets the ancient signal that the lion has left, because the lion now sleeps on your nightstand, glowing. Layer on top of that the comparison machine. Every time you scroll, you're not seeing real lives. You're seeing everyone's highlight reel, their wins, their vacations, their success, stacked back to back. So your brain concludes you are constantly falling behind an entire planet of edited strangers. Hustle culture whispers that rest must be earned, that stopping is failure, that if you're not exhausted, you're not trying. So you keep pressing the red button, and you call it ambition. And then, quietly, sleep pays the price. The blue light from your screens tells your brain it's still daytime, delaying the melatonin that's supposed to shut you down. So you go to bed later, sleep shallower, and wake up already depleted, reaching for the phone to start the whole cycle again. So let's picture the full scene inside you. The adrenal workers, blistered, slumped over the button they can't stop pressing. The gut in protest. The immune soldiers on strike. The memory librarian drowning. And a phone on the nightstand, glowing all night, whispering that there's always more to do. Now here's the counterintuitive twist. Burnout is not your body breaking down. Burnout is your body protecting you. That crushing fatigue, that fog, that total loss of motivation, it's a circuit breaker. When a house pulls too much power, the breaker trips so the whole place doesn't catch fire. Your exhaustion is that breaker flipping. Your body is forcing the stop you refuse to take. In 2019, the World Health Organization made it official, listing burnout in its classification of diseases as a phenomenon caused by chronic stress that was never successfully managed. And psychologist Christina Maslach, who built the most widely used burnout scale in the world, identified its 3 signatures: crushing exhaustion, cynical detachment, and the creeping sense that nothing you do matters. If you felt all 3, your body isn't betraying you. It's filing a report. So what actually turns the button off? Not a weekend, not a vacation you spend answering emails by the pool. The fix isn't doing nothing. The fix is teaching your nervous system that the danger has passed. Start with your breath, because it's the one stress dial you can turn by hand. Slow, long exhales, breathing out for longer than you breathe in, physically flip your body from emergency mode into rest mode. 60 seconds of that does more than an hour of scrolling ever will. Your body has a brake pedal. Most people just never learn where it is. Next, rebuild the boundary the modern world erased. Give yourself a digital sunset, a hard time each night when the screens go dark and your brain is finally allowed to believe the lion has left. Charge your phone in another room. That single move protects your sleep, and sleep is when your brain literally power washes the day's stress chemicals out of your head. Then do one thing at a time, just one. Single tasking isn't old-fashioned, it's a nervous system on vacation. Close the 90 tabs. Let your brain finish one thought before you throw at another. And go outside. Real rest isn't more stimulation, it's less. A quiet walk with no earbuds, no podcast, no phone, gives your overworked prefrontal cortex, that exhausted CEO in your head, a chance to come back to the desk. Not scrolling a screen of other people's lives, living, slowly, in your own. Here's the mirror you need to look into. Somewhere along the way, the modern world convinced you that rest is a reward you earn only after the work is done, but the work is never done. So you kept the engine revving, called it discipline, and handed a glowing rectangle permission to run your nervous system. Burnout isn't a sign that you're broken. It's a sign that a very old survival system met a world that never turns off, and chose to save you anyway. So tomorrow, when you wake up, try this. Before you reach for the phone, before the button gets pressed, before the day starts running you, just breathe out and let the lion leave.